What to do with leftover beets? Make borscht, of course. In this recipe, Chef Ken Fornataro adds an Asian accent to a traditional Baltic beet borscht, fusing carrots, potatoes, golden beets, and 4 types of fermented ingredients. Amasake, a precursor to making Japanese sake wine, is made from fermented rice. It's a natural digestive aid that adds a mellow sweetness to the soup. Shio koji, a salted liquid made from the same fermented rice, penetrates the vegetables, intensifying their flavor and making their nutrients more bioavailable. Dried spiced natto, a vitamin and mineral-rich probiotic flavor enhancer made from fermented beans. And Shoyu dregs, a byproduct of making soy sauce, but in this case made from corn that explodes with umami flavoring and thickens the borscht. The end result is a soup that is nutrient-dense, colorful, incredibly tasty, trust me, even if you're not a fan of beets, and so filling that I couldn't even finish the bowl. If you're looking for a sweet treat that won't raise your blood sugar, check this one out. These are gorgeous golden yellow beets, and we're not going to just be making any old borscht. Chef Ken has been making this recipe since he was a chef at the Hermitage restaurant in Boston in the late 70s. So tell us about the history of this dish.
Well, first of all, borscht is very common, particularly in Lithuania and the whole Baltic area. And there are as many different kinds of borscht as there are ingredients that you might have lying around to use them. It's kind of like the stone soup of the Baltic states, really. So we have our Amasake, and we have our shokoji. Okay.
They look very much alike, so it's good that you have them labeled on top.
That's very important. Labeling, labeling, labeling. Okay? And then we have a really special ingredient. We're going to introduce something that I take credit for inventing, actually. A form of natto, which is historically made from soybeans, very small soybeans, but the actual microbe that it's made with, Bacillus subtilis, is used in many different ways, actually, throughout the world.
So Bacillus subtilis is something that you can actually buy and
yes,
then
you
create?
can buy little tiny little containers of it. It's, I mean, basically it's everywhere in the environment. While I was dehydrating it, I took some togarashi pepper and some mustard, right?
And so you've embedded those flavors
in this actual stuff. For this borscht, because it's a golden borscht, we're not going to use any red beets. We are, however, going to use some pretty typical ingredients for borscht. We're going to use our little peeled organic carrots, right?
Beautiful baby carrots.
Right, and we're also going to use a few potatoes.
I'm going to take the tag off of this guy.
All right. That's how. Whenever you buy something organic in the store, each little one is tagged.
Sticky tags. Right? Better than wrapping them each in plastic, though.
That's true, right? And then we're also going to get our garnishes. Dill.
Beautiful.
And we're going to use scallions.
This is a very traditional borscht ingredient,
yes,
right?
it is. That's very traditional Russian ingredient. And this is amazing how fast this is to do. Okay, so we're going to heat the pan up, chop some stuff up.
I can do that.
If you're not going to use a sofrito or a battuto or a mirepoix or something to start off
your flavor base.
Your flavor base. You can still use the ingredients themselves with a little oil.
So it'll be like you're going to sweat them a little bit? Is that the idea? So they release
and if I get a tiny little bit of brown on it, that'd be okay as well.
Okay.
I don't really, because it's a golden borscht, I don't want to like darken them. What we're going to do is take a little bit of not extra virgin olive oil, but just general olive oil.
Is that because this can stand a higher temperature than the extra virgin?
It can. We also don't want to introduce the extra virgin olive oil taste.
Oh, okay.
Quarter cup.
Okay.
And that's ready.
All right, here it goes. Yep.
That's good.
Little sizzle.
We're not really looking to brown it, just to get everything started. These are going to be creating their own stock.
So they're releasing some water even just from the sauteing.
Right. And the juice. what we're going to do is take some of our natto,
Okay.
dried natto beans, and throw them right in. So we're going to put like a half of a cup in there.
Okay.
And that's going to give it like an amazing base, umami base as well. Right? So we're going to stir it all up. Both the pepper and the mustard are really going to provide a counterbalance to the sweetness.
And the veggies, yeah.
And also going to help to make a great stock.
That smells so good.
Smells great, right? The amasake, remember, has no salt in it.
Right, this is the sweet
This
ferment.
is the sweet
This
stuff.
is just the koji rice and
water, and we actually use a little glutinous rice.
okay.
Also to give the koji something to act on. A live amasake provides incredible digestive enzymes.
Oh, okay.
So-
So this is a, would you call it a probiotic?
More than anything, it's a digestive aid. Tastes this very quickly, right?
Sure. Okay.
Wow. That's good.
First taste of Amasake in years.
Oh, really?
Okay, let's see. Oh, that is amazingly
Right.
sweet and delicious. I could drink the whole bowl of
And
it.
that's the idea,
incredible.
actually. We're going to put, let's say, 2 of these
Okay.
in our soup, and then we're going to put a quarter of this of the Shio koji, the saltier one. There's a nice little sizzle. And what that's also doing is getting a slight Maillard reaction going, a little caramelization going as well. All the juices are like
Look at that.
caramelizing, and those beans are beginning to release this amazing flavor and smell that's just, it's so
Look
incredible.
at that. It's become very almost elastic in this.
Right? This is entirely vegetarian right now. You could keep it that way. Sometimes the Russians or the Lithuanians, especially the Catholics, especially during specific religious holidays, would not put meat.
Okay, so
in
maybe
this.
Lent or something, they would
Yeah.
keep it meatless.
But traditionally, I would actually put roast lamb
Oh, wow.
bones
Okay.
in there. And
But
cook
look
it
how,
with,
so it's just the reaction with the heat on
Yeah.
the amasake that thickens it like that?
yes.
Boy, that's like a dessert right now.
Well, I wasn't going to mention that, but this is also could be served specifically in the summer too as a chilled borscht, and you could serve it at the end of the meal.
Oh, that sounds great.
Really nice, and you wouldn't have to worry about dessert.
That is a dessert,
Right.
right.
We're now going to add about, and you can use the same bowl.
Okay, this
Shaker.
okay, we got to
Shake
shake it
it
up.
up, right?
Okay.
Turn
Not
over.
going to explode on me or
No.
anything. Okay.
No, if you have yeast or any kind of carbon dioxide activity going on in your shokoji, you're in trouble.
Okay.
That should not be happening.
So it's fermenting, but it's not giving off the kinds
Right.
of gas that like a
scientifically
beer
and
would
being
give off.
specifically traditional about the definition of fermentation, that's not what's taking place in there.
Okay.
Because fermentation traditionally takes sugar and yeast and produces carbon dioxide and alcohol.
This doesn't have the yeast.
There's no
going
yeast
on.
in
Right.
there.
Okay. Cool. So that's why it's
And
not.
so that's why I always say don't let wild yeast get in the stuff by keeping it uncovered, right?
Okay,
So you can put a
okay.
little bit of that in there.
Tell me how much.
Oh, that's good.
Quarter of what we
Okay.
put in of the amasake. Okay.
All right.
And we should cover this one.
All right. That's right.
Make sure I put the right lids on the right jar.
That's right. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to put our shio koji, or salt koji, into our soup. And as you can see, there's a lot of sugar in there.
Yeah, look at that. It's
So-
sort of sticking to the bottom.
Now, what we're going to do is turn this down and simmer it. We're at the point now where we're going to add the salt element of the dish. This is shoyu, which is traditionally made with soybeans and either roast wheat or whatever. In this case, we made this with corn. And we're using this particular shoyu because, as you can see, it's golden, just like the beet soup that we're making. It will counterbalance all the sweetness in there that has been worked on by the Shio koji and the Amasake that we've already put in it. But this is going to really bring out all the tastes and everything, even more so. Now, traditionally, if you were making shoyu, you would have the liquid that came off the top, which is traditionally clearer and more intense, and you'd also have what would be called the kasu, or the dregs, from the strained shoyu. And what we did in this case was we actually saved the dregs themselves.
So this is the same, it's just this was
Same
the top
thing, although,
and this was the...
That's right. This is
strain.
unclarified, unpasteurized dregs from a shoyu.
Wow.
And what we're going to do is add, not this, but we're going to add this to our soup.
How much shoyu do you add?
Probably like a cup.
Oh, a lot.
Yeah, no, this is surprisingly unsalty, actually. And as you can see,
it's thick.
It's thick, because that is the actual base of it. And see what it's doing to the texture of the soup itself?
It thickened up right away.
It's making it very velvety. As you can see, those vegetables look pretty well cooked, right?
They do, and they're beautiful and shiny and even
and
more
yet
golden.
They still maintain their texture.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not going to be a boring soup.
Right, they didn't fall apart.
That's right. And when we serve it, what we'll do actually is to use a ladle that will allow us to lift up the vegetables. This is like the classic way that they serve soups that are chunky of any kind. Lift up the vegetables out of the soup, put them in the bowls, and then put, in this case, the dill, the scallions, and some of the natto, the dried natto that we had, we ground up with a little bit additional of white pepper and a little bit of kick of mustard as well to bring out the natural flavors of that. And then we go over here and take a little bit of scallions,
some dill,
chopped dill,
stunning,
and there you have it. If you wanted to, you could add a dollop of sour cream to that, and you would be in heaven. You know, it would no longer be vegan, and there would be dairy in it, but you'd still be in heaven.
It would still be delicious.
And it would be great, right?
You really do eat with your eyes, and the way that these veggies are peeking out from the broth, and the broth is golden and even taken on a little bit of almost a glowing chartreuse color. Yes. It's stunning. It's just a beautiful soup. Now I get to taste it. Okay, got to get a piece of beet in there. Look at that. It's amazing. This is the best soup I've ever had. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Can I bring some home?